The dream home with a view. I'd worked 20 years without a real vacation. Graveyard shifts, doubles, overtime, you name it, I did it. All for one dream: retirement on a lakefront property. Peace, privacy, a view I could wake up to every day and never get tired of. After years of saving and searching, I finally found it, a beautiful log cabin tucked into the trees, with direct access to a glistening lake. The listing described it as a hidden gem with no immediate neighbors, complete with 80 feet of private lakefront. Perfect. I bought it immediately. Full price. No questions asked. It came with an HOA, sure, but it was small, informal, and according to the realtor, just there for maintenance and road repair. I didn't mind chipping in for shared upkeep. Besides, the dues were only $300 a year. Cheap for peace of mind. The first few weeks. Bliss. Early mornings on the porch with a mug of coffee, watching the mist rise off the water. Afternoons in my kayak, gliding across the lake with no one in sight. Evenings by the firepit, listening to the loons call. It was the kind of peace money can't buy. That peace didn't last, because that's when Karen entered the picture. Karen wasn't the president of the HOA. She wasn't even an original member. But she acted like she owned the place. Moved in a year before I did. Blonde bob haircut. Loud voice. Bragged constantly about her decades of experience in community organization. She'd been trying to turn the casual HOA into a full-blown regime, bylaws, fines, restrictions, and a never-ending stream of community improvement initiatives. The HOA meetings started off as small coffee and donut affairs at her house. Then came agendas. Then came votes. Then came a board, self-appointed, of course. Karen was president, secretary, and treasurer. All in one. I mostly ignored her. I was just there for the lake. But ignoring Karen doesn't mean Karen ignores you. It started with passive-aggressive notes in my mailbox. Please store your kayak in the garage. It ruins the natural lakeside aesthetic. Kind reminder: outdoor fires should be approved in advance by the HOA. Your dock is not regulation size. Please contact the board for acceptable dimensions. I laughed it off at first. But the notes kept coming. She called them friendly nudges. I called them harassment. Then came the kicker: the disappearance of my Shoreline morning. I went out to the dock and noticed something strange. A section of my shoreline, roughly 30 feet, had been cleared. Bushes gone, grass trimmed, trees pruned back, and a brand new paddle boat sat right there. Not mine. At first, I thought I was losing my mind. Did someone mistake my land for public access? I called the HOA, and of course, Karen picked up. Oh, that's just my cousin, Trevor, she said cheerfully. He needed lake access for his kids. Since there's no common dock, we figured it made sense to let him use that little part by your place. You figured? I asked, stunned. Karen, that's my land. There was a pause. Then came the fake sweet venom in her voice. Well, actually, the original plat map from 1984 is kind of vague. There's a case to be made that part of the shoreline is community property. But don't worry, Trevor's just using it for the summer. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I demanded she remove the paddle boat and restore the shoreline. She refused. She said I'd have to file an official complaint with the HOA board, which was her, and that's when I knew Karen had declared war. I didn't waste time. I hired a surveyor that same week. We pulled the original deed. Called the county office. Pulled historical imagery, digital overlays, and every document tied to my parcel. Not only was the shoreline mine, it went 5 feet further than even I realized. Trevor's paddle boat wasn't just on my land, it was a full 35 feet deep into my private property. Armed with documents, maps, and legal boundaries, I called a meeting with the HOA. Karen showed up with a smug grin, Trevor in tow. I laid out the evidence. I presented the survey, showed the county records. It was airtight. Karen's smile faltered. Trevor looked nervous, but Karen didn't back down. Well, we just think that since it's for the community, it's fine. I looked her dead in the eyes. It's not your land to give away. She shrugged. Well, then do something about it. Challenge accepted. The fence that silenced the neighborhood no, A normal person might have just called the sheriff. Maybe gone to court. But me. I had a better idea. I called in a contractor. We built a fence. Not just any fence.